And welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show. I'm stoked on today's episode, and today's episode is 85 really powerful quotes that were collected from our incredible community, you being one of them. But I did a post on one of my favorite quotes, and I asked everybody to share their quotes. And I spent quite a few days reading them all, saving them all, because they all tickled. And they're in the range of business, motivation, mindset, spirituality, faith, you name it. And I'm going to do this in a couple of parts because I shared all of the ones I got on Instagram today, and there will be another podcast coming in the future on all the Facebook ones. And I give you some tips at the beginning of the show about the power of these quotes, how to use them, how to surround yourself in your environment with them. And so the show's only about 20 minutes, and there are some incredibly powerful quotes because in recording this, I was very tickled. I got sweaty and my nervous system was going. I was like, oh, I need that one back in my life. I need that one back in my life. And I'm going to put them on repeat. And so I'm really excited and slightly a little bit nervous because I've never done an episode like this. And so I orated all of these quotes. So this would be one of those episodes to save and come back to. And I talk about this in the beginning of the show, but I'm really excited to share with you. I'm really excited for you to have the episode. And so without further ado, I'm going to stop with the intro and let's get into the show. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show. And I am beyond stoked to have this episode because this post went kind of viral and nuts. And let me set some context and set some frame, right? So one of my favorite quotes that has ever been given to me was from a shaman in the jungle like 10 years ago. And he said, a student says, I already know. And a master says, thanks for the reminder. And what that means is that there's no finish line for us. There's never a place when we're done. There's always a place where we get to deepen and deepen our levels of mastery. And I used to give a keynote on this, and I always used to laugh. And I'm like, how many people in the audience have ever read a fortune cookie and saw a piece of advice that they loved? And like everybody's hands went up. And I'm like, how many people have also realized that if you simply listen to that fortune cookie every day from the moment you read it till now, that your life would be drastically different? And everybody's hands go up. And I have delineated my life down to reminders that keep me focused on, for lack of better terms, chopping wood and carrying water. And I shared one of my favorite quotes on Instagram, and I asked everybody to share, and I did this on Facebook as well. So this is going to be a two-part episode, and we'll spread them out. But I asked everybody to share, and the response was overwhelming. And I read so many of these quotes that it brought me to tears. I wrote some down in my journal. I wrote some down in my notebook. I printed some out and put them in my car. Because really our success in life and our business is determined by our environment and the things that we remind ourselves of and anchor in to be able to succeed. And I also love our community, and I love all the wisdom that's in our community. And so today I'm going to spend however long this takes, but it shouldn't be too long, but I'm going to read you all of the quotes that came from that Instagram post, and I'll do the Facebook one separately. But I want to give some guidance here. Some of these are going to tickle. They're going to tickle deeply. Other of them, you're going to be like, that doesn't land. But my invitation is for the one that tickles, where you're like, oh, that one. That's the one that I almost need to read every day. That's the one that I need to be reminded of every day, or get to be reminded of every day. That you take it and you surround yourself with it. Make it the background of your phone. Print it out and put it next to your laptop. Change the background of your laptop and phone so that you can see it the entire time. And surround yourself with it as a reminder, because quotes are incredible. It's why we love books. It's why we love scripture. If you're religious or spiritual, like we don't ever remember the context of the full story, but we can remember the passages that when we're having tough times, or when we're in seasons, or we're in challenges, that we go back and reference, and it helps pattern interrupt us, or shift our perspective, or help us focus on the right things. And so many of these resonated so deeply with me. I was like, I have to share them with the whole audience. And so I also want you to save this podcast, like save it somewhere. Because if you're going through these and I'm about to read them and they tickle and they land, you can come back in a different season in a week or in two and hear it again, or find another one to take action on and to surround yourself in your environment with, to be able to win the game and succeed. And so these ones are off Instagram. So I'm going to share the name of the person who gave it to me, their handle, and then I'm going to share the quote. And there are a few of them, but I love them. And there might be some repeats because I didn't filter them, but I want to give everybody a voice who shared these with us. And I want to share them with you. And I'm really, really excited to do this. So as we begin, I'm going to go, and I might add some thoughts to some of them, but we're going to hit these quotes and then we're going to wrap the show. So if you're in like get a pen mode, I might pause this and you might want to get a pen. or get your phone notes ready or whatever else you need to do to grab the one of these that tickles and supports you the most. And consider this like one of those speedy Instagram reels where they make you pause your thumb on the best quote and see which one resonates with you. And we can do the same thing here. And so listen to them and feel them. And if there's one that you feel that you resonate with, that you feel it in your heart or you feel it in your bones or makes you shiver or smile or laugh, I want you to surround yourself with it. And I want you to realize that we're the byproduct of our environment. And we're conditioned and programmed by the things that we look at and consume. And if you grab one of these, use it and surround yourself with it. So here we go. From my buddy TJ, last best you on Instagram. Plant your roots before you throw shade. Oh, I love that one. Jesse Cruz speaks. Love you, Jesse. I know the plans I have for you, announces the Lord. I want you to enjoy success. I do not plan to harm you. I will give you hope for the years to come. From Jeremiah 29:11. Carlos Machado, my brother, one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys in the world. Many people will come to you with the belief that they will not make it in this world. They reflect their fears and doubts on everyone else to comfort their lack of belief in themselves. Your task is to prove they are wrong, first, by succeeding in your own way, and second, by giving them guidance through your example. Zarak Fatah, one of my dear friends who was on this podcast, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate. From Carl Jung. Top G, Grazel says, the only way to transform your life is to do it from a place of love, not hate. My friend Lumen says, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. From Hunter S. Thompson. Kevin the Refugee, what up, homeboy? All profit is derived from risk. From Peter Drucker. My buddy BK Battle Ready says, day by day, in every way, I'm becoming more successful. Sleep Energy Resilience Coach says, re-examine all you have been told. Dismiss what insults your soul, by Walt Whitman. She also says, from my dear friend Jim Quick, when you put a label on something, it becomes a limit. And then Mark Butler on Burnout says, self-deception, it's so expensive mentally and physically to feel that one thing is true, but to be acting like that other thing is true. Coach Mindy K says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. From Romans 12:2. Another amazing piece of scripture from Tina Azalga Realtor, Matthew 19:26. But Jesus looked at them and said to them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Last best you, TJ coming in again. Where you're from isn't where you're going or everywhere you've been. And that's his original quote. My friend Lauren says, I have peace knowing that what is meant for me will never miss me, and what misses me was never meant for me. Beck's Nutrition says, follow your bliss. That's an incredible Joseph Campbell quote. Limitless Momentum says, heard this one from Modson. You share your pain, it gets cut in half. When you share your joy, it doubles. Oh, I love that one. Stevie Wander on Instagram, love you, girl. She says, change is like lighting a match in a dark room. TJ in here again. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Our homegirl Heidi Anderson, who's been on the podcast. Give yourself permission to dream big, by her boy Lucas Mack, who's an incredible breathwork facilitator. Mackenzie Rose Gorman says, live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. If you have something to say, you'll be given the power to say it. If you want to grow, you need to step so far out of your comfort zone that you don't know how to get back. People are disturbed not by things, but by the view that they take of them. Ooh, those four are fire. Kate Perkovic says, some people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and the choice isn't up to you. That's one of my inspired quotes that I came up with after a shaman said that quote to me. Body Iceland says, we are not permanently molded by our past, but mainly our identity is shaped by our habits over the last 3 months. Change starts with my morning routine. What is the one thing I can do today to build the life of my dreams? Amazing ones and questions. Then your past does not define your future. Not sure who said it first, but heard it from George Bryant. I don't know where I heard that. It was probably a personal development course, but your past does not define your future. The Garage Gym PT says the human brain is not wired for perfection. It's wired for adaptation. Body drops another one from Zig Ziglar. If it is up to be, it is up to me. Sacred Geometric says, I live my life based on two principles. One, I live as if today was my last day on earth. Two, I live today as if I am going to live forever, from Osho. G Sarge on Instagram says, life is to flow, not strive. Receive, not steal. Find the middle way, from Jillian Sargent. Coach Mindy with another one. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. That's from Rumi. Allison Cockrell says, healing happens in love. I love that one. My homeboy JP Movigar says, the reason for life is to see what we can do with the seasons, the chances, our mind, our spirit, and ourselves, from Jim Rohn. Fabi Paulioni says, your capacity to make sales comes down to your capacity to receive clients, both internally and externally in your systems. Allison Cockrell with another one. When you talk, you are saying things you already know. When you listen, you learn something new. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand. Dan the Man, DJ R Design Co. says, I have a bad habit of giving an ocean whenever someone asks for a single drop. That one tickles me, from Louise Kaufman. Do not be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and start again, from Russell Brunson. One of my quotes that I said at the beginning, he posted, a student says, I already know, while a master says, thanks for the reminder. And then he says, for my business, great design is not an accident. It is the result of a great strategy. I love this one. I'm in like heaven right now. I'm just so tickled. Okay. And then we have my homeboy, Robert Floyd, one of the best doctors in the world, Empowerment MD on Instagram. The more value I give, the more valuable I become. Never pass up a good adventure. Everything worth achieving takes hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. Think before you speak. I could go on, but those are good. Oh, and this one. I discovered the meaning of life. It is to love and be loved. Then Allison Cockrell drops another one. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, or some fact in my life unacceptable to me. I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment, from the Big Book. Allison drops another one. And behold, I tell you these things that ye may learn wisdom, that ye may learn that when we are in the service of your fellow beings, you are only in the service of your God. I love that one. Large Krista, who I love, says, from my mom, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. For all of the not so great choices that taught me to deal with them instead of hide. I love that one. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Allison Cockrell, put your oxygen mask on first. You cannot assist others if you don't take care of yourself first. Another one, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate, from Carl Jung. We got the repeats. Heidi Anderson with some more. Share your stories and earn your scars. It's you say you are the one you will. Answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute. Jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you, the story of you. And this is from my homeboy Drew, who's also known as Satsang, who we had on the podcast. These are lyrics from his song, The Story of You, which are incredible. Sean Russer says, you never know, which is so true. Dr. Holly Noor says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel, from Maya Angelou. Kate Perkovic with another one in here. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Ooh, boy. Michelle Jubilee Wellness. We're all just walking each other home. J.L. Patterson, the world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. And that's from Hemingway. Kevin the Refugee with another one. Play long-term games with long-term people, from Naval Ravikant. Krista Tresser drops her favorite scripture, and it's framed in her dining room. Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. This comforts me immensely because it reminds me that I'm not in control. I don't have to worry and stress and try to figure it all out. I can rest and be still and have eternal peace knowing that God is for me, he's with me, and he'll love me unconditionally. From my main man, Eric Harris Hart on Instagram says, true greatness stems from the courage to create not just a business, but an exceptional one. Life's most valuable lessons are often taught by a hungry stomach, an empty pocket, and a broken heart. Remember, it's not the applause when the crowd is watching that defines you, but the resilience to never give up and the integrity you uphold when you're all alone. The best things in life aren't material. They're found in the spirit of never surrendering. Pat Grass says, find what you like and do it a lot, from Ben Nunes. Everything is okay in the end. If it isn't okay, it isn't the end. Ooh, that one tickled a lot. Brenda Lifeview says, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, which is an incredible passage in the Bible. That's from Ephesians 6:12. Maddie Costin says, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Caroline Samantha Rose, my little sister, says, you're not crazy, you're just first. Love that one. She has another one that says, your gut will either lead you down the right path or to the right next lesson. And then one that she dropped from my dear friend Nancy Ma. What would you do if you loved yourself? Incredible question to sit with. Stevie Wonder with another one. Evidence is your loudest voice. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, from my main man Matthew Patz. No one will ever outperform the opinion they have of themselves, from Peter Sage. Roger Reyes says, as I've built brands and watched competitors fall in line, I realize that not everyone knows the entirety of Oscar Wilde's quote. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. Ooh, that one's deep. Henry Clay Staging says, at the top, we don't compete, we collaborate. Peter Barrows 76 says, I do not have time for things that have no soul. And that's from Bukowski, which I don't know who that is. I haven't heard that one before, but I love that one. Kate Perkovic with another one. This is one of her originals. I saw her do a story on it. The opposition is the opportunity. Another one of hers. If it's a pattern, it's a problem. Sam Cabot, who's been on the podcast, rolling with the first quote that came to my mind, and it's actually none other than Rocky Balboa. It goes, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. This quote is from my buddy Kevin the Refugee, and it's a Chris Do quote. Chris is an incredible human and entrepreneur. The best kind of content you can pursue and consume to build your personal brand is to go see a therapist. Because what the hell are you talking about? You're as broken as everybody else, and you're fronting as much as everyone else. It's a good one. Really, really good one. Mike Kim quote from Kevin. Marketing isn't about closing a sale. It's about opening a relationship. I love that one. TJ, my buddy TJ, Last Best You, says, where you point your finger is where you send your power. Another one from TJ. What other people think of you is none of your business. Another one from TJ. The meaning of communication is the message that is received. Another one from TJ. Be curious, not judgmental. JL Patterson. Sit with warriors. The conversation is different. Ooh, yeah. Another one from JL Patterson. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. And that's from Hemingway. Another one from J.L. Patterson, and this one's from Theodore Roosevelt. Far better is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even through checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much, because they live in a gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. Another Theodore Roosevelt quote. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Another Theodore Roosevelt quote from J.L. Patterson: the things that will destroy America are prosperity at any price, peace at any price, safety first instead of duty first, the love of soft living, and the get-rich-quick theory of life. Another one from TJ, and this is his original quote, last best to you on Instagram: dabble in mediocrity or commit to excellence. From the real Dorio: when someone shows you who they are, believe it. It's Maya Angelou. Rachel Oswalt says, every sunset eventually leads to sunrise. You just have to survive the night. Yeah. Michelle Jubilee Wellness: I prefer you to make mistakes in kindness than work miracles in unkindness. Another one from her: do not wait for leaders. Do it alone, person to person. Eileen DeSalle says, everything is temporary. This all ends. This mantra helps me zoom out and see the bigger perspective. When the kids are having moments when my emotions feel too big, when I feel stuck in a mental loop, or when I need a giant dose of gratitude, I remind myself that this all ends. Antonio Fisher, my homeboy, comes in with, you cannot use prayer to replace laziness. Yes. Another one from Antonio: the more authentic I am with God, the more authentic I am with myself. And another one from Antonio: know the difference between what you want the most versus what you want right now. Whew, that one's deep. Another one from Antonio: become your best self and then share that person with the world. My homeboy, Tyler Nahila, who's just on the podcast, from Isaiah 6:8. I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? Then said I, here I am, send me. KG Cooper says, be not afraid. NJ Shook says, if gratitude came in pill form, they would call it the miracle cure. Oh, that one's good, from Max Lucado. And just two more. Wholehearted Rosie. Oh, love you, Rosie. And then here is hers. Oh, actually, Wholehearted Rosie is the last one, and this is the perfect one to wrap this out on. And this one is from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And oh, is that a tickle to end on? I've actually always wondered where that last quote came from, and it's from Marianne Williamson, and I love that one. And so I just want to give you a simple reminder as I wrap this one, and I'm like literally sweating and my heart rate's up because so many of those quotes tickled for me, and I'm going to grab a few of them and put them in my environment and remind me of them. I want you to take one or two, and I want you to master them. I want you to embody them. I want you to use them as your workout, as your reminder, as your pattern interrupt, as your anchor to stay focused on whatever goal you're trying to achieve or whatever season you're in your life or business. And I want you to utilize them to empower yourself. I heard one of the best things ever from my friend Garen Jones, who was on this podcast. And he said, most mistakes that people make when they read is they try to read to learn instead of reading to become it. And I think the sentiment with any of these quotes or any of these reminders or fortune cookies is don't read it to feel it. Read it and utilize it until you embody it and it becomes who you are, and then move on to the next one. And so I'm going to be doing another episode with these. I got to hit the Facebook ones too, and we'll see how long that one goes. But I want you to save this show. I want you to come back. And if you had multiple quotes that tickle, just save it somewhere and come back and find another one. If you want to cut the snippet of audio of me reading it and listen to it, use it, put it in your environment, hear it. And I'll give you a bonus tip. If there's one that you really love, record it in your voice on your phone And every time you're feeling stuck or you need a reminder, I want you to listen to it in your own voice. I want you to hear yourself saying it to you so that you can get back on that field. You can get back in the game, or you can have the perspective shift needed to have everything that you deserve. And so I love you to absolute pieces. Thank you for being a listener of the show. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sending all these comments and quotes in. Thank you for engaging with me on Instagram. Thank you for telling me your biggest takeaways of the show. Thank you for all who share the show and tag me. Thank you for those who rate the show. Like, just thank you for everything. I'm just filled with so much gratitude for our community and so much for you. And so I love you to pieces. I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to hear your feedback. But without further ado, we're all done with the show.